Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Travel Plays YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, October 10th, and as you can see, we've got some more technical difficulties. Not sure if it's my Wi-Fi or the streaming platform I use's site's just not having a good week, but I am going to restart my router before I go to work tomorrow. I'll come back and see if it's fixed. But back-to-back nights, if I'm lagging whenever I show my face, so, I mean, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe my face needs a couple days off anyway. Anyway. This is the recap from Monday night. Saints plus 5.5 couldn't get it done. Felt like they were going to cover. They were sticking around. And the Chiefs, it's so hard to cap the Chiefs. Sometimes they play well. Sometimes they look like the worst team in the NFL, but they are 5-0. Mahomes looked good. Kelsey looked good. So Juju Smith-Schuster looked good. Kareem Hunt looked good. It's like they were playing in 2018, but whatever. They did cover the spread. I think it was final score 26-14 or something like that. Derek Carr did come through for us. Plus 200 of those two passing touchdowns. He did hurt himself throwing the ball up in the air. He threw the ball so high that he hurt his oblique. So hopefully he's okay. And then Travis Kelce again looked really good. So we hit both player props, lost the game pick, 0-1 on the game pick, 2-1 on the player props, 38-24 to start off the season. Let's take a look at some Thursday Night Football. We're going to be looking at the 49ers going up against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to be at home this game. This is probably one of the most surprising teams through the first 5 games because I thought the 49ers are going to be juggernauts once again. They are dealing with a lot of injuries, but they should still beating some of these teams. The Arizona game last week, they should have beat them easily. They had everybody healthy except Christian McCaffrey, and I know Christian McCaffrey's good, but they still got a lot of talent. They've got way more talent than Arizona. And speaking of games that you should have won, the Seattle Seahawks on the road last week against the Giants, that was a massive, massive loss for them. They started the game on the defensive side. It looked like the Giants and that rookie running back that they had in for Devin Singletary looked like he crossed the goal line. He did fumble, I guess you can say, on the play, and the refs let it go, and they didn't have an angle to change it to a touchdown for the Giants. But if you ask me, that was a touchdown for the Giants, and the Seahawks still couldn't find a way to win that game. That was the first drive of the game, and the Giants, they just dominated the Seattle Seahawks every quarter after that drive. The offensive line for Seattle, they looked horrible as well. They allowed 7 sacks in that game. This game's kind of a toss-up in my opinion. I don't think either of these teams have been playing very well or up to their standards so far this year. I do think that home crowd for Seattle will find a way to keep them in this game. So I'm going to take the 49ers here to win this game outright, but I'm going to take the points plus 3.5. Another big injury for this 49ers in this game. It was last week their kicker, Jake Moody. He was playing. It looked like he either pulled a groin or did something to his groin. He's not going to be playing in this game. I know they got kickers on standby, but going from your starting kicking to your backup kicking, a lot of things changed, including the tempo of the snap, hold tempo, kicker, you might miss or might make, but kicking is going to be an issue in this game for the 49ers. I don't know if they've got a lot of confidence in that, if Shanahan does have a lot of confidence in that, but we might see the 49ers go for it a little bit more tonight. That might hurt us, that might help us, but I think it's going to help us in this game if they got to go for 4th and 3. Like at the 35-yard line, you usually just see a kicker go out there and nail a 50-plus yarder, but I think the 49ers will go for it more often in this game. I also think the Seahawks offense is one of the better offenses in the NFL, and they just need to give Geno Smith a little bit more time in this game. I think he's going to be able to pick apart the San Francisco defense. I mentioned the 49ers dropping that game against Arizona. It was mainly because of mental mistakes. Brock Purdy had a couple of really bad mistakes, really bad turnovers. Jordan Mason, the running back, had a really bad turnovers in the end zone, basically, in that game as well. But every time I look for the 49ers to put a team away, they just find a way to mess it up. We saw it again against the Cardinals. They were fumbling. They were throwing interceptions late in that game. I do think the 49ers will find a way to win this game. They're going to find a way to get in the playoffs and be dominant in the playoffs again. But I think they've got a little bit of bad luck here. I think Seattle can take advantage of that. So give me the Seahawks here, plus 3.5. I'm hoping for another really good Thursday Night Football game. So give me Seattle plus 3.5 as a play there. Let's go with some player props. One 49er player prop, one Seattle Seahawks player prop. We're going to start with Jordan Mason, running back, over 81.5 rushing yards as the play. These numbers are a little bit skewed for the Seattle Seahawks, but the one thing that has stayed consistent for them all season long is that rushing defense. Seattle hasn't been going up against the best teams in the world over the last 5 games in the NFL. They got 3 cupcake matchups to start the season. The toughest test of the year was going up against the Lions. We saw Jared Goff and company torch the Seattle defense. And I'm almost positive, I know Jared Goff went 100% completion percentage. It was 19-19 or 18-18 through the air, something like that. So that 183 yards per game for that Seattle defense is going to be a little bit higher, I think, towards the end of the season. I think that's a little bit skewed right now, but this defense, they're not good at stopping the run. They're allowing 128 yards per game on the ground. The 49ers, they typically like to establish a run game with Christian McCaffrey, and so far with Jordan Mason, they've still been trying to establish a run game. I wish he would stop fumbling because I'm not entirely sure what the workload is going to be for him in this game because he keeps turning the ball over. I'm not sure if he's going to be in the doghouse or not, but I do think it's a low enough number to take a chance on him. If he gets 10 plus carries in this game, I think he should go for 80 plus rushing yards. Again, the Seahawks, they've been giving up some big chunk plays every single game this season. And last week, even though Jordan Mason had a couple turnovers, he struggled a little bit going up against Cardinals. He still had 89 yards on the ground. The Niners aren't just going to abandon the run game fully in this game. He's had some fumbling problems, but I'm going to take him here over 81.5 rushing yards as the play. And for the final player prop of the day, we're going to take DK Metcalf of the Seahawks over 63.5 receiving yards as the play. Last weekend for the Seattle Seahawks, it was very frustrating, and DK Metcalf was showing a lot of frustration himself. Geno Smith was unable to get him the ball going up against the Giants. There's a lot of double teams on DK Metcalf last week, and I'll give the Giants some credit. They played some really good defense in that game. We did see Tyler Lockett take the majority of the targets in that game going up against the Giants. He had himself a monster game, his best game of the season. DK Metcalf also had some chances last week with Geno Smith. He caught a ball over the middle, then he fumbled from a peanut punch by the Giants, and then that fumble was recovered by the Giants. And after that fumble, DK, he was only targeted one time in the next quarter and a half until the fourth quarter when the Seattle needed some big plays down the field. So I'm not entirely sure if Geno Smith and DK Metcalf were on the same page last week. There wasn't a lot of confidence whenever he was throwing the ball his way. And while this 49ers defense has been decent in the secondary, they have been giving up some big plays. Kyler Murray last week didn't play well by any means, but he had 200 passing yards, and the top target in that game was Michael Wilson. He had 78 yards through the air. Just over the last 3 games for the 49ers, the Patriots game doesn't count because they don't have a quarterback, but Matthew Stafford, he only threw the ball 25 times, had 221 yards, and Tutu Atwell went for 93 yards in that game. I don't think we're going to see the 49ers double team DK Metcalf. The Seattle Seahawks have a lot of weapons, including Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think they can cause some problems in the secondary. I think Geno and DK finally get on the same page in this game. I'm going to take the over for the big man, 63.5 receiving yards as the play. Let's take a look at the recap graphic. We're going to be taking Seattle plus 3.5, Jordan Mason over 81.5 rushing yards, and then DK Metcalf over 63.5 receiving yards as the play. Guys, it's going to do it for the NFL Plays and Props for Thursday, October 10th slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please be sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.